Yo, this is the start of a journey. Just picked up an '05 ZZR 600, and it just needs a little bit of work. Look at that. And it has been a journey. Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is ChrysRR, or ChrysR, whatever you want to call me. Today, we're going to be talking about how I got into motorcycles and the ChrysR progression. First, we're talking about age 5 to 10, and that's when I was on a little Yamaha 50. We went to Brown's Camp and Lee's Camp, which is on the way to the Oregon coast. After that, I went to a Honda 70, a Yamaha 80 with a clutch, and then eventually a 125cc on the track. This is all thanks to my dad, but we did stop riding dirt bikes after he tore his ACL. He ended up racing street bikes, and when I was age 11 to 14, I started pitting for him, and then eventually he asked me if I wanted to race, and I got an FCR 400, and then eventually went to an R6. But it wasn't a normal R6, it was a race bike, which means it had custom bodywork and a lowered tail section, which dropped it down 2 inches, so me in middle school, being 13, I could ride this thing around. I did graduate the novice program and eventually started racing expert races and taking podiums, but you know, I really did learn how to ride a bike for the first time. You know, this was the first time going over 70 miles per hour was at the age of 13. I was riding an R6. It was so cool. It's what I always wanted to do growing up, and yeah, I started at Portland International Raceway. And that was with ARMRA, which is Oregon Motorcycle Road Racing Association, which is the main sport bike association that races at Portland. That's how you race club racing at Portland International Raceway. Now this is just a practice session, but I really don't have too much footage from my earlier years and much at all of riding, because I've never had a GoPro as an adult riding on the street. But we'll get back to the story in a bit. I'll let you guys watch some of this footage, and in roughly about 5 minutes, we'll get back to the story. Cheers. Now, let's get back into the story. I want to talk about how I got into riding, and that's because of my dad. If my dad didn't get me into riding at such an early age and introduce me to the track, I never would have gotten to that level of riding in middle school. But let's get to the next part, which is how I got into street riding. At age 22 to 25, after I finished trade school, I got this little Ninja 250 for $300. We squatted out. All my friends and I got Ninja 250s, and we were on the street. I was thrashing that thing, and eventually I got it complete and sold it for $1,000. With that $1,000 in a tax return, I ended up buying my dream bike again, an R6, a 1999 R6, the one that I raced. I bought it crashed, and eventually got it running, and it did not sound the best in this video, but that's the only footage I have. I ended up putting a full acro exhaust on it, system on it, and I got fairings for it. Had to do all sorts of stuff with the sprockets and chain, and eventually I got it all tidied up and sold it for over $2,000 to make a down payment on my car, but it wasn't like my old race bike, and I missed it. After not having a bike for years during COVID, I was gifted one of the Ninja 250s from our old squad, which was our, first street endeavor, and now I was riding one of those bikes that I helped my buddy Ryan get. He gifted it back, and I eventually got it running somewhat decent, enough to ride, but it was a ripper. I eventually got a Spidey suit and started really ripping. I was dragging knee on that thing, but it's, with a 250 you're just full throttle everywhere. It's a 08 model. Sadly, that bike got stolen, and I really haven't ridden since COVID.
Yo, this is a start.
And that brings us back. This is a start of a journey. This channel was set up before COVID to motovlog, and now I'm gonna do it with this bike. Follow the journey.